It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.
And welcome into the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti. Welcome to another week here in Evergreen Park. We got a pretty good show for you. There are two Catholic parishes in Evergreen Park, and both of them in the last couple of years have seen a new pastor come in. Most recently, Father Tom Hurley over at Most Holy Redeemer took over this summer, and he walked right in and started making some changes. And that building, that parish, it's right there on 95th Street in the heart of Evergreen Park. I've had so many people ask me, can you get him on the show, find out what he's all about, find out what he's doing over there, find out what his plans are. So he is on this program today. And don't worry, we'll get to the other parish very soon. I have a call in for Father Benedict. Besides that, I had another guest planned today. You know, it's the holiday season now. We've gotten past October and Halloween. There's always food drives. I wanted to talk with the Evergreen Park Food Pantry. It did not materialize as I thought it would, and I kind of had tunnel vision on that guest. So rather than try to force something, you might see a special episode come out here in the next week or so. We'll make sure we get every guest in that we plan on getting in this month. Don't worry about it. But this gives me an opportunity now in the back end of the show to kind of tell a story. And I had an experience recently that made me concerned for all of us. And Colleen Klimzak, our resident professional organizer, will be in here later on to discuss it with me. Before we get to the show and Father Hurley and everything else going on this episode, quick reminder, Porter Cullen's over on 99th and Clifton Park, your Irish pub with incredible food over there. They're always doing something new. I saw they had a Guinness beef stew recently. They were putting it up on the Instagram. I got to try that. I know on Sundays they're doing brunch, and Sunday's a great time to get over there and watch NFL games and just have fun and bump into neighbors, bring the whole family over there. And not only do they have NFL games, they put up the high school football games. So 'tis the season right now to keep track of so many different sporting events. You can do it all in one place at Porter Cullen's. Learn more at portercullens.com. And now on to our first guest of the episode, Father Tom Hurley from Most Holy Redeemer. Joining me in studio right now, a guest that's new to the EP podcast, but he has been on several of my other shows in the past. Chaplain over at Marist High School, and now the pastor at Most Holy Redeemer, Father Tom Hurley. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Thanks for having me on, Chris. Good to be with you.
How do you keep up with all this stuff? I mean, seriously, when I heard that you were doing this, when you know, Most of the Redeemers, center of Evergreen Park. We've got a couple different churches here in Evergreen, and it's right there on 95th Street. It's some of the bigger events every year seem to happen there or in the parking lot there. So it's kind of a big deal to all Evergreen Park that you get a switchover like that, a changeover where there's a new guy in charge. And when I heard you were doing it, still doing the thing over at Marist, and you did Ryan Sandberg's funeral on television. I mean, you're a busy guy. You're not doing just one job. How are you doing this?
I'm not sitting around. I can tell you that right now. I'm not looking for anything to do. It seems to find me every day. You know what? It was just, listen, when I was ordained in 1993, I was assigned to Holy Redeemer. So I was here for only a couple years, left, went to St. Cajetan for a couple years, then worked at the seminary, and then for 6 years, and then after that went to Old St. Patrick's. So I never, ever lost my love for Holy Redeemer. I think your first parish is your first love, and it's where, the people of Holy Redeemer really welcome me into priesthood as well as welcoming me into the community. So when it was open, when they were looking for a pastor, I have to admit, my eyes kind of lit up. I thought, you know what, I could do this. And I've never lost contact with the people of Holy Redeemer. I've been back frequently over these 30 years, doing weddings and funerals and baptisms and everything else. And so, yeah, and likewise, too, as you said, it's I'm putting a lot of miles on Pulaski Road going up and down the street, from Marist to Holy Redeemer. So I've pulled back a lot from Marist, but I still, I think it's important to be their chaplain. I look at my colleague, Father Mark Walter over at St. Linus. He's the chaplain at Brother Rice, and so he teaches a class there. So I thought, well, if Mark can do it, I can do it.
That's awesome.
And I think it's important. I think it's important to stay in touch with the high school age. But for me, Redeemer is, it's central to Evergreen Park. But for me, it's been a big piece of my heart for many years.
I find that really interesting that you're like, you saw the job was available. I don't think anybody understands how this works, with priests. Like, is there like, they're like an Indeed.com for like priests? Like, is there like there's job postings? Like, how does that happen? Explain that to me.
You work with a real estate guy,
You got like a headhunter?
You see what's open, you know what? A couple years ago, so I was full time at Marist for these past 4 years, and obviously the Catholic Church, especially in Chicago, they're in need of pastors, and guys to step up and be pastors of these parishes, and so they had, I was certainly toying around with the idea of getting back into being a pastor as I was before down at Old St. Pat's. And then the the representatives from the diocese, whatever, the cardinal and his lieutenants, were kind of, hey, what are you thinking about? Would you be a pastor again? And I said, sure. And so I did inquire, like, what's going to be opening up. And when they indicated that Father Hyland was going to be retiring in the summer of 2025, I thought, that's great. And so that's kind of how it is, So they do know, like they know right now probably what parishes are going to be open next summer. So July 1st is kind of the changeover when guys retire or when people move on to another assignment. So this one was open this past July, and I thought, I prayed about it and really thought about it a lot and talked to family and friends, and thought this is what I want to do, get back into it.
So you get in there, and I'm a parishioner over there. You get in there, and I've seen already a couple of big changes that I told you already that I liked. I think your music program's incredible right now. Like, you've involved the kids in it. There's a big pulpit now that the main singer stands on. Everything is like that was like one of the first things that you made a move to do. And then I also noticed with the kids, you went old school. Like, I went to St. Dennis, in Ashburn neighborhood. I went to St. Dennis, and we did all school mass where the entire school was in there at the same time. And you were like, I want to make sure that we got them all in there at the same time when I do it. So are these things that you've seen work before, or these personal preferences? Like, where does that come from? Because you get into a place and a lot of people sit there and say, okay, I'm going to just watch for the next 6 months and figure out what I like and what I want to change. But you had kind of an idea right when you walked in.
Yeah, I did. And first of all, priests have said, and I think in days of old, the rule of thumb was don't do anything, meaning don't change anything for your first year. And, just kind of get in there, soak it in. I wasn't foreign to Holy Redeemer. I mean, I kind of knew, I had helped Father Hyland a couple times saying some masses here, but also just listening to people and just kind of listening, that people wanted some changes. And quite frankly, I felt that there were some things that couldn't wait. And again, it's kind of all related. So, I mean, when you talk about the music, and I appreciate your kind feedback about the music. So the young lady who is the music director, Ansley Burns, she married a guy named Adam Rainwater. So she's Ansley Rainwater. And Ansley and I worked together down at Old St. Patrick. She was the music teacher at our school, our grammar school. And I had never in my life seen or witnessed a better music teacher than her. First of all, extraordinary voice, fantastic working with kids. She was awesome. And so, to bore you with some more details, so she...
You're on the show to give details.
Don't worry about it. Well, I'm just saying is that she and her husband were in the West Loop, started having kids. They wanted to get out of the West Loop, go to a neighborhood. At that point, I was already gone. I was back here at home on the South Side. And so Adam, travels for work over to Indiana every day. And so to cut down on that travel time, I said, why don't you move out to the South Side? So they did. And at the time, they moved into St. Barnabas. She was helping with St. Barnabas with the music. And then when this opportunity came up with Holy Redeemer, I said to her, hey, are we together? We're a team, right? And she said, absolutely.
I already saw that at Mass. I saw a Mass with you and her, and you could see, it's almost like you two have like a stage kind of presence. Like, I mean, I've had co-hosts on the radio, and you can kind of read each other's thoughts. I can see you're doing that with her out there. You've worked with her for a while.
We've worked with each other for a long time, and she knows kind of how I preside. I know how she sings. We kind of know each other. And so that's why, so unfortunately the people of St. Barnabas, I think they have a pin doll of me. They stick pins in it. And I'm hearing all the time, we miss Ansley. You stole her. I was like, no. Let's let the record be clear here is that I brought her here to the South Side.
Oh, so, yeah, because you can't steal.
And she's my colleague and my friend, so she's coming with me. So, and she wanted to. You know what? She said, I want to be a mom over at St. Barnabas, but I want to do music somewhere else. So she didn't want to have to do both, to be honest with you. So anyhow, so she works great with kids. And then when we came in and the school year was starting, we heard that in the past, they would just kind of take 2 classes per day over to 8:30 Mass and no music, no nothing. So we looked at each other across the table saying, hey, we can do better than this. So we said to the new principal and the folks at Holy Redeemer, he said, there's like 360 kids in the school, and it's like, can't we just bring them all together? I mean, the church seats 1,500 people, for God's sake. For God's sakes. And so, sorry out there.
Oh, that's funny. Do you have to go to confession for that one now?
Yeah. Bless me, Father. Bless me, Tom, for Tom, you have said. So, anyhow, so we looked across the table and say, come on, can we do this once a week, Wednesdays? We'll have music, the kids get involved, and it's become. I tell you, a few weeks ago, I had Deacon Mark Phelan sit next to me as he does most liturgies, and he leaned over to me at the end of the Mass. He said, this is the best Mass we do every week. And it is. It's great energy. The kids get involved. She motivates them so wonderfully. So, yeah, really happy about that.
So you come into a parish that I could only describe as incredibly strong and almost like strong-willed. There's more than one group of parents that have like fundraising groups, like I know that from in there. You got the men's club. There's another group that runs like races online. They're all like trying to support the kids.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of people that are very involved in that parish. That's a lot of voices, a lot of people that you kind of have to learn their names and figure out what they do and how you're going to work with them. Like what's that challenge like? Because it's not just coming in. This isn't a small one. This is like a very big parish with a lot of moving parts in it.
Good point. Really good point. And yes, on all levels, you hit the nail on the head. There is that, when I was down at Old St. Patrick's, that was a big operation, but it was so different from this place. And I have to remember too that this isn't 30 years ago. And so the names and the faces have changed in some ways, but also, now I wasn't the pastor 30 years ago. Now I am. And so I know there's a lot of different organizations. I know there's a lot of people, doing a lot of different things. I think one of the pieces that people have been coaching me on is that we just have to do a better job of kind of getting everybody together. I think everybody was kind of doing their own thing, if you will. And now I think we need to kind of bring people together. I am really impressed. I am impressed with the people of Holy Redeemer, their beautiful commitment to their community, to their church community. They want great things to happen, and I want great things to happen. And so I think our school is solid, really, really solid. These are some of the nicest kids I've ever met. And Ansley and I have said that. And we work together at a different school. But again, different kids, different reality, coming from, kind of a different setup. Those kids came from all over the place. These kids come from this area, this neighborhood. And I'm telling you, we were just saying they're just genuine, more grounded. And so we love working with them. And the teachers are fantastic. So, yeah, we got to, but like anything, right? It's a Catholic school, and tuition doesn't cover everything. So we got to do the fundraising to make sure that our school stays great. It's great already. We just got to continue to make sure that it's great. So yeah, I mean, I think good things are happening. But like I said, I'm on one hand, I'm not starting slow. I'm kind of,
You're diving right in.
What I
which
said,
I like. I'll be honest with you. I really like that. I like that you're diving in. You have a plan. You have a mission. You have a focus. I think that people will see that and they get excited about that.
Thank you. What I said, either in written form in the bulletin I think it was in the bulletin. I wrote it. I said, hey, listen, I said, the number one priority has to be, kind of the church and our masses. We got to make sure our masses are great, not just good or mediocre, but great.
See, you stole my last question in this interview because I was going to say your predecessor used to tell me that all the time, like all these fundraisers and all these carnivals and all these other things with the school and everything like that. That's great, but I would love to see more people involved in the actual church. And I hear the exact same thing out of you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying that all other things are not important. They're very, very important. What I'm saying is that for me, my priority is I want the church to look good. I want the church to sound good. And I want the experience, the homilies to be great, And so, we work really hard. We're going to work hard. We're going to make sure the message is compelling and relevant and likewise the music. The music has got to be, music is a huge part. I don't think people always appreciate how important music is. So that's why with Ansley, I mean, she's doing a fantastic job already. Music, the liturgy, like I said, we put in a new sound system. That was huge. I mean, the first weekend I was here, I said to people from the altar, I said, listen, if it's the last thing I do on God's green earth, we are going to get a better sound system in here. Everybody applauded. I said, okay, good. Now I know that this is what you want. Because it's a tricky place. It's a big, big place, and it's a tricky place acoustically, but we did it. And I used a guy that I knew, put in not a good, but a great sound system down at Old St. Pat's. I say, Chris, I need you to come here and work your magic. And so he did. And this will be now, this will be the second weekend that we have the new sound system, and it is 110% better.
Is that why you were using the handheld mic before the new sound system came in?
Yeah.
Are you going to stay with that, or now with the sound system you don't need to?
Hey, buddy, I'm hands-free now.
Okay, that's awesome. Because at first I was like, he's quite the performer with his big microphone in his hand.
I hated it. I did not like having to hold that handheld mic, but that was the best option I had in terms of having people hear me. And we're back to our lavalier mics, and we've got great speakers now. Actually, if you come over to Holy Redeemer, you'll see we did some painting to kind of, as everybody knows, I mean, the Holy Redeemer, the most Holy Redeemer is the mosaic, and that's the center point of the church itself. So we did some painting to kind of make that pop a little bit more. We just put in some new light bulbs just to brighten the place up, and a new sound system. We're going to move a couple of mosaics that were in the back of the church up to the front of the church. So I just want it to be an appealing place for people to come, because and again, that's priority number one. And then we'll go on to some other things as well. We got to work on the mission,
We talk a lot on this show about businesses in Evergreen Park. We talk a lot about like a new restaurant or somebody that's expanding, like how Spoken Vine is expanding their restaurant. And you see all this different progress. And I got to tell you, like, we had you on this episode of the EP podcast, and I already have a call in, and I think we'll be talking with Father Benedict over at Queen of Martyrs very soon.
Good.
And he's putting a new roof on. If you drive by, you can see there's construction going on there.
Is that right?
And I think we have two very similar pastors at Evergreen Park that are like, I'm gonna improve this. We're gonna change this. We're gonna make this better. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. It's very interesting that Evergreen Park and both of its Catholic churches have two pastors that are like, we're gonna upgrade. And I find that very interesting.
I need to connect with Benedict. I know him. I know him well. He's a good young guy, good energetic guy. I applauded. I really do applaud him. I mean, he was charged with the responsibility of really bringing two communities together with St. Bernadette's and Queen of Martyrs. And
I called it the wrong name. I should have just called it St. Gianna's Parish.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what it is right now.
But that's what
I'm going to make everybody upset from Bernadette because I didn't mean it. It was unintentional.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, he did it he's just such a good guy, got a really good heart. And so, I mean, I think he's done a really good job trying to combine and create this new community called St. Gianna. And like I said, I've been to the church. It's been several months, maybe even a year since I've been in there, but did a really nice job, I think, of bringing some new lighting and some kind of freshening up the old Queen of Martyrs, now the St. Gianna, the worship space. So Yeah, he's a good young guy. He's a good, energetic guy. So I'm really happy for him and happy for that community.
All right. Well, Father Tom Hurley, nice enough to stop by and see us.
This is great.
I feel like if I asked him what his plans were coming up in the next 6 months, it'd be another 15 minutes because he's probably got a billion ideas. I'm just going to sit back and kind of watch. I'm very, very curious. If anything, you've made it very interesting over there. And I told you before when you came in, I was like, I like this. I'm liking what you're doing over there. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Like I said, I just want to make sure that we just have I just think the Catholic community and Holy Redeemer itself is just a huge piece of not only Evergreen Park, but I mean, it's a huge piece of this South Side community. And I just want us to be, again, I don't want to pastor a mediocre place. I'm not into mediocrity. I want us all to work hard and encourage each other and help each other and lead each other into a deeper experience of faith. And, that's the mission, and, there's a church out in Santa Monica, California that's really been for me kind of an iconic place and taken a lot out of their playbook. But I like their mission statement. Their mission statement is, we form disciples who are going to go forth and transform the world. And I know there's more verbiage to it, but that's essentially what it is. And I like that. And I just feel that here in our little neck of the woods here of Evergreen Park, Holy Redeemer, I want to help us to form disciples who are going to transform the world, and like I said, we got great energy. These people are terrific. And so I look forward to spending many years here.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. Incredible small plates, amazing wines, a lunch menu now that is incredible. In fact, you can watch the video of myself and Frank Murray from the Evergreen Park Public Library checking out some of the sandwiches. I've already been in there to try the Cuban, which we didn't even feature during that episode. Get it at the EP Podcast YouTube channel. Hear it anywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com. And they have a wine tasting this month. Many of the events already sold out. Their Bordeaux begins. The next one, it actually still has tickets, is Thursday, the 13th of November. I think there's one the next night, Friday, the 14th of November, but tickets are running out for a lot of their Bordeaux Begins wine tasting events this month. Get to SpokenVineWines.com and get in on that. Meanwhile, around Evergreen Park, you got the third annual Community Leaf Raking Day taking place on Saturday, November 15th, beginning at 10 a.m. Volunteers are needed to come out and rake leaves for seniors and other residents who are unable to in Evergreen Park. You can go to the village website, evergreenpark-ill.com, to get more information. This is a great event, helps out people in the area, help your neighbors out a little bit if you're able to do it, or at least send the teenager out there to do it for you. Drop-in play for adults 21 and over continues all the way through May 30th over at the Maple Well Center at 3450 West Maple. That's drop-in for adult pickleball. Just get on over there. Tuesdays 10 a.m. until noon, Fridays 10 a.m. until noon, Saturdays 10 a.m. until noon. It's only $5 to get over there. You can also get punch cards in advance at the rec department at 3450 West 97th Street. There's also a fall coat drive going on right now through the end of November, helping needy families keep warm this fall and winter. Donate your new or gently used coats, scarves, hats, gloves, and or blankets. Drop boxes over at the Community Center at 3450 West 97th Street, Village Hall at 9418 South Kedzie, or the Evergreen Park Public Library at 9400 South Troy. And also, Evergreen Park veterans Students at Central Middle School would like to honor and celebrate you. Join them for a veterans breakfast and performance honoring local veterans. The breakfast is Thursday, November the 13th. Doors open at 8:05 in the morning with breakfast in the cafeteria from 8:15 until 9 a.m. Band and chorus performance as well. If you are a veteran and would like to join them over at Central Middle School, do it by this Thursday, November the 6th. There are details inside, I want to say, of the village email that goes out, or you can go to the Central Middle School website. That is your word on the street. Colleen Klimzak now joining me in studio here on the EP podcast.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it because sometimes I just want to tell a story and it's...
I am ready.
It's weird to just tell it into the camera.
Into the void.
Right. I'd rather have somebody I could speak to here in the studio. Of course, you've met Father Tom Hurley. He was on earlier on the show. You've met him before.
I have, yeah.
Yes, you sing over there at the church.
I sing a lot.
So you got a little bit of connection to the first guest we had.
do.
Don't worry, the story's not about him.
Oh, okay. I hope not. I would feel really uncomfortable, but got you.
You come in here and you record every week. You do Your Organized Life, which is a podcast about organizing. You're a professional organizer. You live here in Evergreen Park. And every week when you come in here, we catch up. Right?
We do.
Yeah.
I love a good story, Chris. You've always got good ones.
You tell me about what's going on with your life and your husband and your kids and just all these things that are going on.
Absolutely.
And I generally fall into some ridiculous story about my dating life.
And that's okay. I'm always open to hear whatever you want to tell me.
Right. And the funny thing is, I took a big break. You can tell people this. I took a huge break dating. I said, you know what? I'm just going to concentrate on the kids. I'm going to concentrate on life. I'm going to concentrate on the podcast. I sold my house. I had a very chill spring and summer. Just kind of kept to myself.
And all those things.
Right.
So yeah.
All totally that stuff, right. Yeah. But I mean, to the point where if I had a few people reach out to me, just trying to get feelers out there if single guy Chris was available. And I'm like, no, I'm not dating. I try to say it very kind, but I'm like, no, I'm just not dating. No, I'm just not dating. So recently though, I got the idea that I would try out the dating apps.
Okay.
Which I did right at the end of the marriage, very early on.
I remember. I have 3 years now. We've been at this 3 years.
And I thought it was weird. And so I stopped, right?
Fair enough.
Right. And then I took off. Now it had been almost a year since I had done it and somehow convinced myself it won't be weird.
Wow.
And I was wrong. It's still weird.
Sorry.
So... And the only reason I tell this story is that I will run into people all the time at events, and I'll get a lot of people who ask me about it. A lot of guys ask about it.
Oh my gosh.
Married guys ask about it the most. They're very curious what it's like. Huh. Because if you're my age, that's not how it worked back then.
Oh gosh, no.
So they're always so what's it like? What's it like? You put your picture up there and next thing you know, there's some beautiful woman. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works at all.
Not at all. Oh gosh.
It's 99.9% crazy out there. And I think it's like that for the girls and the guys. I think the men and the women are all, if you're on these things and you have some sanity in you.
Oh my gosh.
You're only on it for a couple weeks to get off it. So here's what happens to me. I had to share this with somebody.
Please.
This is not recent. This happened a little while back here. I've already canceled the dating apps and moved back off them.
Oh, dear.
But I haven't had a chance to tell. This is what made me get off them.
Okay. Gosh. I really need to hear this. Okay. Tell me.
So I'm on the apps, and every once in a while, somebody will reach out, or I'll see somebody who I'm like, oh, I'll try to match with them. And it's just it's a crapshoot. You're just throwing darts at the wall. You're seeing what's happening, right? Okay. And then I have somebody who matches with me who's from this general area. All right.
Okay.
And I'm shocked because I'm 48 years old and she was 31. So right away, I do the math in my head right away and I go, I was 17 when she was born. Okay. But she's pretty and she's talking to me online, so I can't stop myself. I'm just a man.
Ew.
This is a very different generation for me, but I'm just a man, right?
She reached out.
So I'm chatting. I'm on the Bumble. I'm chatting.
On the Bumble.
I'm on the Bumble. I'm chatting. Okay. This is where the girls make the first move. So she's the one who reaches out first.
So okay.
Right. You see? So it's not me. I'm not creeping. I was just there. Okay?
That's all
it says exactly what my age is. The picture is within the last 2 months. Okay? So I'm just there. I can't stop this. I can't turn this off. Okay? So she's talking back and forth with me for a couple of days. And finally I say, after, and conversation was funny. Conversation was light.
Nice.
I don't normally make it to 2 days into the chat before I think that somebody's weird or I've weirded them out.
Your barometer, your
Right.
radar is
Right.
telling you things.
Right.
Okay.
But this time I've made it 2 days in and I go, you know what? I'm going to ask her out.
Okay.
Now, there is some weird stuff, some weird ways that people look at things when it comes to online dating. There is a section of people out there that honestly believe that if somebody asks them out for coffee, they're cheap and they'll just turn it down. Like people have these weird standards. I know I've talked to women about this, and like the guys can be creepy. Okay, and I'm not saying a guy, but all I see is the females online.
Sure. Of course.
And there is at least 50% of them out there that will list not only all the things that were wrong with their ex, so they don't want you to be that, but they will list all the things that they expect in terms of money and trips and, I need somebody to take care of me. This is written on these apps. It's very
Oh my
weird.
God.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff on these things. Very weird stuff on these things, okay?
I really don't have any opinion on any of this because that's just cray-cray. Okay.
So I've made it 2 days and haven't seen any of that weird stuff.
All right.
And I'm like, let's go to dinner. I'm an adult. Let's go to dinner.
Okay.
So I just write, hey, we should get together sometime. How about dinner? Now that you and I are from similar generations.
Okay.
That's a normal thing to ask, right?
Of course it is.
Okay. And you, as a woman, I know you're married now, but
Yes.
you dated at some point in your life.
I certainly did.
You would be able at 30.
See above, married.
Right.
Yeah.
Several kids, right? How many you got? Three of them?
Three, yeah.
Three of them?
Yeah.
3 kids?
3 boys, yeah.
You would be able to come up with a response to that question. Pretty simply, right? Either no, I'm not interested.
Of course.
Yes, let's get together, right?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
Right.
And if I go far enough as I'm like, I got a couple of ideas of places. Like I have a plan, right? Like
That's nice.
here's a guy, he's got a plan.
That's nice.
This shouldn't be hard
No.
to respond back.
Oh dear.
Okay. No, this is what happens. This is when everything comes off the rails.
Oh gosh.
She responds back with not 1, not 2, but 3 screenshots of what ChatGPT had told her to say back to me.
Why?
Yes, this woman used artificial intelligence and told artificial intelligence, I was just asked out on Bumble. What should I say back to him?
Oh, why?
And I think the question was, is it okay to go on a date? She left artificial intelligence.
She let that make the decision for her.
Make the decision. And the artificial intelligence came back and said, first of all, it's totally normal that a man, especially of his generation, I read the whole thing, would ask you out at this point. He's being a gentleman. This is normal. But
Why are you counting on ChatGPT to give you a moral compass?
see, this is why I told the story, because of how ridiculous it was.
And to me, because
But it said, but it's also totally normal if you're not ready. Would you like me to craft a sentence that says, I would like to talk for 2 more days and maybe video chat before we go out?
that sounds like the answer right there, right?
So why not just write that?
Why, right?
Instead, you just revealed to me that all of your answers,
Oh, that's sad.
as we've been talking back and forth,
Have been generated.
You're asking ChatGPT how to have a human conversation with somebody
Okay, so
else.
there's 3 people in this conversation. You, her,
And AI.
And AI.
And you know what? And
That's terrifying.
And here's the thing. What's normal, and this normally happens on these apps, and this is why I tell my friends I don't like the apps. I don't go on them, and this is why I canceled it like right away. I canceled it right away. I'm back off of them. I'm not using them. If you see my profile on there, folks, it's a dead profile. Okay? I promise you it's dead. Okay? Wow. Don't try to reach me through it. Okay? But the thing is that like you will see actual AI trying to talk to you because it's some sort of a scam. Like, hey,
Right.
I'm really cute. Before we go on a date, send me some money and I'll buy you some Bitcoin.
Oh,
like you'll
my
get some
gosh.
weird things that'll happen, right? But this was a human being
Who was relying
talking
on.
in shorthand. She could identify places in the area. Like she lived in the same area as us, so she knew the restaurant. Like AI wasn't coming up with this, right?
Wow.
AI wasn't coming up with the way we talk back and forth.
That's crazy.
But when it came time to make a decision,
Oh, boy.
she had to find out what the computer thought.
That's really ill-advised.
30 years on this earth.
Good Lord.
AI's only been around for a year. Like when you watch the movie The Matrix.
I like that movie.
Right, but remember all the people are really batteries inside of pods because the machine had taken over? You know, up until this point, I always thought that it was possible the machines built weapons took over the world and then forced people into the pods to become
She's
batteries.
choosing the pod.
No. What's going to happen is somebody's going to ask AI what they should do today, and AI is going to be like, you should build a pod and hook yourself up to it and be a battery. And that's how it actually happened in the Matrix. We haven't thought about what we're really doing here. It's not my generation, not your generation. Probably not even her generation. They're going to get close to it.
That's
but
crazy.
Somewhere along the line, we're going to have me going, how do I ask this girl out? And asking AI. And then AI is going to respond back. And it'll really be AI talking back and forth to itself.
That's terrifying.
Deciding who we go out with. Whether or not we're having children.
I have seen that movie.
Should I buy this
terrifying,
house?
Right?
Get into the pod and become a battery.
Oh my God.
By the way, I immediately ended the chat.
Yeah, and got off the app.
Threw the phone across the room, and then I got back up and got myself off of the app.
But supposedly she lives in the area. You could run into her.
I know, that's creepy now. I'm worried about that.
Oh my God.
But I don't have to worry about having a conversation because when she sees me, she's going to have to pull out her phone and ask AI what to do, and I'll be able to walk out.
That is terrifying.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.